Hello, friends. It seems really dark today. I've got a light, you know, trying to help me look like I've got a tan or something. I don't know what the light does, but I've got a light that my ET person, who is my stepdaughter, ordered online for me that can be used for making videos. And so that's what I'm using it for. It's making videos. But for some reason, it doesn't seem very bright. And another thing, I apologize to all of my listeners for the volume that was in the video I made earlier today, the tarot reading. I listened to the video afterwards, after I'd uploaded it, and I could barely hear it. And I was trying to do the dishes, and I couldn't hear it over the water running. So we'll see if today's better, or today. That was today also, but it was earlier part today. We'll see if this video is better than the earlier one. This video is going to be on the Mayan calendar. For some people, will go, "Oh, that's great," because the Mayan calendar is much more important than the tarot card. But I am going to not read the whole thing, but I am going to just bring in an extra card that showed up that wasn't in the original tarot reading, but it's a number 4. And I think, anyway, I'm not going to even get into it because I don't remember. Because my memory mushrooms have been ordered, but they haven't been delivered yet. So I've been out of them for a few days, and already I seem to have less memory. So I'm sure it's, what do they call it? It's a belief system. If you believe it's strong enough, it's true. So if you believe that you'll have better memory if you move your card back and forth, or if you take memory mushrooms, that's why they call them memory mushrooms, because they supposedly improve your memory. You're getting very sleepy. I did study hypnosis, and I know that I studied neurolinguistic programming, and at first I realized how well my first teacher could manipulate consciousness, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be doing hypnotic inductions. Oh, there goes a cat. There's one distraction. I didn't want to be doing hypnotic inductions, getting people to buy my tapes. At the time in 1986, they were tapes that you could buy, these cassette tapes that he would sell. And in the hypnotic induction, he would talk about the tapes and the value of the tapes. And he'd say, buy now, buy now, buy now, you realize. And that was as hypnotic suggestion. So the only suggestion I might make using kind of hypnosis, which hip is cool, what's now, gnosis is knowledge, so what's cool now, knowledge, is hypnosis. The one thing that I might suggest is that if it's in your highest good, always throw that in there, because then that puts it out to the universe and your subconscious that only of the highest good will be understood and will be followed through with. So if it's in your highest good, I would suggest that you increase your ability to change. That's just across the board a really good thing to be able to do, to change your beliefs, your boundaries, and your behaviors. It's useful when you can allow them to change or make changes in them. And one of the things that will help you to do that is this card that I pulled. I ended up pulling it twice for 2 different people who are friends of mine who live on the other side of the country. And this is a card, this is the 4 of discs, I believe, 4 of discs. And it's about our power and how our power comes from having good boundaries. creating good boundaries within all our relationships, and feeling like that we are the queen or king of our castle, this human form we live in, this structure we walk around in. And the more we take responsibility for allowing our thoughts, our actions, our beliefs, actions, behaviors, thoughts, beliefs. Beliefs are more subconscious or unconscious thoughts. That a simple belief I used in the other video is that girls don't wear pants. It's not appropriate for girls to wear pants, and that was in the 50s. Your dress could only be so long, and it had to go over your knees. In the Catholic school I went to, the girls they couldn't have their skirts 2 inches higher than their knee. So the way that serious this was really going on, they would make the girls kneel down on the linoleum floor, and they would take a ruler and they would stick it on the floor, and they'd measure the distance from the floor to the bottom of the girl's skirt. And if it was more than 2 inches, they could be sent home to change their skirt. And they all were wearing skirts that were a uniform, because it was this parochial school. Parochial, I think, means Catholic. If you went to a parochial school, you went to a parish, maybe, school, where you were forced to wear a uniform. So all the boys had two different kinds of pants to wear. One of them was a salt and pepper corduroy, that was your winter pant. And then I think the other one was like a silver gray, ironed pants, and that was your dress pants. But that was for spring and fall, and then summer you were hopefully off. But anyway, the nuns used these rulers for a variety of things. I saw them, they used them sometimes to mark straight line on a chalkboard. They also used them to measure, to make sure the girls' skirts weren't more than 2 inches from the floor that they were made to kneel on, to get an accurate measurement. And then also, I had a piano teacher. I actually stopped playing piano. Before that, I played piano a lot as a child, just making up songs. I was ready for whatever that kind of theater is, where dance theater. I was getting ready for dance theater. But my parents saw that I had promise, little Stevie playing the piano, little Stevie, he wonders, playing the piano. And so they asked me if I'd like piano lessons, and I said yes. And so they signed me up for piano lessons with a nun from the school who would hit my hands with a ruler if I wasn't holding my hands correctly. So after a while, you're holding your hands like this because you're just waiting for that wooden ruler to hit those little 8-year-old hands, whatever, just wham, let it go. These things happened, and worse, and worse. That was pretty bad, but there was worse. And these things happen. And as we create the space that allows the contraction of the fear of trauma and the fear related to trauma, the anger related to trauma, the grief related to trauma. As we create this space, we have maybe the room to really look at things from a different perspective. So this card, the Four of Discs, has to do with feeling safe in your castle, this body that houses this being and this soul that's here to do specific work in this lifetime. And I almost didn't make this video because I was distracted by a video that they put on my YouTube thing about Edgar Casey and what happens to you after you die. And I was like, oh, I want to watch that. You know, and I actually started it, and then I realized, no, you're supposed to make a video. And I took care of my boundaries. I got to maybe show you the cat is climbing up the screen because she doesn't want to be left out there, and I don't want her in here. That was pretty good action. And I didn't want her in here because I didn't want her climbing up me. And but here already the video's distracted, so I'll do this. I'll get the. There's a healing field earlier, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the Mayan calendar reading, but there is a healing field you can tap into. And you can go through on your own, connecting to your deep self, connecting to your higher self, connecting to your highest self, grounding to the healing center of the earth, opening to the healing power of the one, letting go of anything not useful to you now, stating out loud, I choose to work with the Hathors. And then I would say, I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good, release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls to return to the event, to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that we all be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. Upon arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event. Gently and easily, don't let the cat distract you. Gently and easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. That's Brittany, by the way, Brittany the cat. The other cat is sleeping peacefully on the chair, and who knows where Captain Quirk is. She likes to sit in boxes. But this one just likes to pace the perimeter. She's the one that creates more fight or flight than the other ones. She's kind of walks in a room and struts. Like, anybody want some of this? And I'm like, no, my older brothers gave that to me as a child. I don't want any more of it, especially from a cat who's supposed to be my friend. Okay, so we got a healing field set up. I set it up rather quickly. We have one of my favorite of the lunar tones, the moon tones. There's 13 moon tones. We're on tone 4 today. And just notice that we're on tone 4 today, but another of the cards we got was the 4 of discs. And the moon kind of looks like a disc. And the 4th tone is creating structure and stability and bringing new realities into form. So to inform you, to inform me, to create a new form that I then perceive myself as this new form. In other words, we can change. As uncomfortable as that may seem, or as causing you to draw back and contract and hold on to who you are, I'm just going to say it again, that we can change with a feeling of safety and space around us. The safety may come from someone else holding space, a safe space for us, or it may come from that small safe space within us that we allow to fill up the space around us so that we feel safe because we are safe. Tone 4, lunar tone 4 is the self-existing tone of the 13 lunar tones. It's about defining, it's about definition, it's about making clear. is about measuring, taking the measure of things. What do I need to add? What do I need to subtract? In creating this form of a world, because we are an aspect of the world, we are living in physical mass. I still believe that. I believe that my body is made up of the earth, as is all bodies. So when I eat the body of a plant, the nutrients that it drew up and sent into its seeds, that then flowered more plants, are the nutrients that this body might need to flower new ideas, to see the beauty around us, to be a person that appreciates the beauty of the world. The more I appreciate the beauty of the world, the more I see the beauty of the world, and the more I see the beauty in you and the beauty in me. We are one. So this tone 4, it's only through the operation of measure as wholeness and order that any manifestation can occur as a coherent organism. Measure is the form-giving principle of energy. So energy is our form. Our form is energy. The more contracted the form, the less flow of the energy. The more expanded the form, the more flow of the energy. Energy likes to move, and it may like a container. But that container, the body, shares energy. So sometimes you experience that. When I am doing something and I don't waste much time. When I demonstrate something, I actually do the thing I'm demonstrating. So if I say, you might feel a contraction in this area. This is popular area for contraction right now. Here, attached to here. And so when I say that it's the contraction that's being held, if you and I are holding that contraction, then we can also release our hold on that contraction and allow a feeling of expansion to happen. And then a change occurs, and you may have just done that, and then you felt it. Is that hypnosis, or is that instruction? Is that a demonstration of something you might be able to do, and more than likely have done a million times before, and your ancestors a million times before? And all of those skills they developed are yours, but not accessible if they're contained within a contraction. The only way you get those accessible resources from inside your Akashic records, your spinal cord, where all your memories are stored, the only way you access your resources is by releasing the energy of your traumas. I swear upon dog and cat that these words are well spoken and possibly true. But I've experienced it, so it's true for me that my resources, I get back my hidden resources, my major arcana, secret sauce resources. I get them back when I release the energies of trauma from my memory bank, and I expand. Tone 4. 4 directions, 4 seasons, 4 elements, 4 limbs, 4 chambers of the human heart, 4 sides of the tetrahedron. 4 delivers structure into the third dimension. 4 offers double stability. It provides a uniform foundation which nature's order builds upon. A foundation which nature's order builds upon and direction revealed. No. Oh, no. Build upon was a period, end point. Tone 4 represents the essential role of definition in shaping our lives. Language defines. When supported with accurate information, clarity is formed and direction revealed. So as we gain more clarity, our direction is more apparent. Without verified facts, life may be clouded or disoriented. Safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. I'm a parrot, I'm a parrot, I'm a parrot. Safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Without verified facts, life might be clouded or disoriented. Plans are weakened when based in speculation or hearsay. Safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. Therefore, Tone 4 prompts us to ask questions like what, where, when, why, how, what studies. What did you find out by studying this conjecture of yours? Safe and effective. What studies were done that allowed you to state those words, safe and effective? And what did you find out? What was your experience, if you believe those words? Define specifics. Assess the situation. Unveil the designs, which I think is happening now. And determine the parameters. Measure possible scenarios. Scheme and dream the structure you seek. The wisdom of Tone 4 assists our development by observing that when recipes for creation are recorded, others can then replicate and build upon our evaluation, discernment, and formulation. Let us remember that our everyday definitions construct our everyday perceptions. Only men should wear dresses. Men have never worn pants before. Men should stick to the rules of only wearing dresses, and that those dresses should be 2 inches from the floor, measured by a wooden ruler only. You ever hear, was it the Reformation? No, that was something different. It was what was the one where they just went tortured everybody till they admitted anything they were asked to admit because they was being tortured. What was that called? There's a name for that. It's the Catholic, it's the Pope that led that thing. What a surprise. Infallible. Pope's infallible, so he can just mess with anybody anytime he wants and get away with it because he couldn't make a mistake, because he's representing the big dog. It really sometimes seems like they're just here to piss on your leg. Okay. Discernment and formulation. Let us remember that our everyday definitions construct our everyday perceptions. How you define your world is how you live, as if it is. It's a construct. It's a creation, your creation, which ultimately shapes our world, but ultimately it shapes your world and your perceptions of it. And my views shape my world and my perceptions of it. And if I strongly believe that men should only wear dresses, what right do you have to tell men that they can wear pants? Why, I oughta. Anyway, by functioning as an open system, we're capable of restructuring. What a concept. Our perspectives, restructuring our perspectives in order to transform our reality. So this whole trans thing is about transforming possibly a more expansive reality. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. I just like the transformation has the word trans in it. Just notice these things. Okay, so that was a long version. I hope the volume's better with this, but that was a long version of just the lunar tone. And we still have the solar tone. And we've gotten a whole bunch of fours today. And now 4 and 4 is 8. And I just ate. And the whole thing about the infinity symbol is a figure 8. The whole thing about change is the Ouroboros snake who has its tail in its mouth, forming a figure 8. And today is a day of the number 8, which is the eighth of the 20 solar kin. And it's about the south, about ripening. And the yellow star, tone 8, is about beautifying, elegance, and art. And then Meishu Suma said these words, supposedly. I wasn't there, so I'm just trusting that somebody actually did some research before. And I trust the people of the Mayan calendar who put this out, that they actually checked this out. And Meishu Suma said, may we develop our awareness of the countless beautiful things in everyday life. I didn't pick these, but I was one of 4 rubber banders. So what we did is, with our rubber bands, is we took these flowers and carefully took them out of the buckets of water they were in and added 7 of them together and put a rubber band on the bottoms. I don't think these are edible flowers, but these flowers were banded together as a gift to the shoppers at the food bank. And why do I love to work in the garden for the food bank? It's because I get to be around people who plant these seeds, harvest these flowers, and give them away for free to the shoppers at the food bank, who are getting their food for free in a way, but the amount of food is limited by the number of people in their families and the number of points that they have, depending on the number of people. So people are careful in their use of points, you know. There are organic vegetables grown in this garden for 30, 40 years, I think. They're not certified organic, but they're done with all organic principles in the growing of these vegetables and flowers. So those are organic flowers. And people get a certain number of points that supplement their diet. For some, their whole diet may come from that food bank. And the volume of business, that the increase in the volume of business of people who are needing help feeding themselves and their family. And it is such a privilege for me to be there and to be bagging up the fava beans, to be bagging up the snap peas, to be bagging up the fresh, just picked basil that will go into a bag that someone can take home and use. Fresh basil that just came out of the garden, went into a bag. It's a plastic bag, so you can have issues with that if you want. More plastic. People should be more conscious when they're bagging organic vegetables for people who can't afford to go to the grocery store and buy them. We should just really have a whole conference on the use of plastic at a food bank and whether that's appropriate or not. I'll let you judge. Judge or judge not, whatever you want, or judge and judge not, and hold the polarity for the person or persons that had this thought 40 or 50 years ago. That wouldn't it be great if we could create something to assist people of low income to have better food sources? And today is the tone 8, the yellow star, about beautifying elegance in art. And here's Meishu Suma, may we develop our awareness of the countless beautiful things in everyday life. That garden is one of them. For every phase of beauty contributes to the expansion of spiritual upliftment and understanding. Yellow star is an agent of harmony. Feel it. I'm feeling it. I'm not reading these words off a page. I'm feeling these words and sharing that feeling with you. Yellow star is an agent of harmony. Keeper of the octave. Away shore. A starseed. A messenger declaring art as creator's omnipresent gift. Art, it says, art is how we greet the day. It could say, art is how we can greet the day, how we respond and interact to the elements in our lives. As a dimension of being and acting, art exists as a universal opportunity for creativity, innovation, and expression, each of us adding to the blank canvas of the moment. Art bears, opens to the language of the soul, transparently revealing our divine essence. Can you feel it? Art, like the realm of beauty, is naturally occurring, enhanced with intention, is unlimited in its appearances and manifestations, transcends definition, and is measurable by feelings and insights it provokes. In essence, art, beauty, and elegance are vibrational emanations, produced by beneficial combinations emerging from mindful synthesis. Yellow Star transmits delight in the beauty of your expression. Explore your creative tendencies. Allow the aesthetics of nature to inspire your inner artistic sight and sense. Wield the radiance of the star and light up your outer world from within. Allow grace and harmony to guide your path. Nothing you do is outside the art of your life. And finally, a message from Chamalu. When we contemplate life through the eyes of purity, everywhere we look, we see beauty. It's such a gift for me to daily, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, past 5.5 years, probably before that when I wasn't conscious of doing it, but I've been conscious of doing it for 5.5 years, grounding the disturbed energies of the earth, helping others and otters to feel some space from the troubles of the world so that they have space enough to release and integrate their traumas from the past that until this moment were unresolved, but in this moment, within that space, within the safety of others who can hold a loving space, a safe loving space, not something to get something from you, but holding a space because my world improves when you heal. Now you understand. It's a real self-centered thing I do to heal the world because I want a better place to live. That's some intense self-absorption. We're always looking for outcomes that are beneficial to us, and the world healing is beneficial to us. The whole world healing. Every single aspect of it, just healing. That's what I'm doing in this lifetime. That's what I've always done in almost every lifetime. And each time I learn a little bit more. And each time the world shifts a little more. And now, energetically, it's blown open. And the world is our canvas. And really intend the work of arts that you wish to create. Hold it in a clear vision. What a privilege to be with you today. Let's finish the healing field and see if we can get out of this in under 35 minutes, because otherwise it's just going to take me the longest time to upload this. And I've got a tree that's hanging over the path down near the water on the other, that, three-quarters of a mile away from here. I have a tree that's over the path that people, when they aren't paying attention, are running their heads into, and I'm going to go cut it off the path. And maybe can go do that, and by the time I get back, this video will have uploaded. So I ask the higher self to assist all the souls that return to the event to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul back into their body in present time with all of its wisdom, power, and clarity. Power, boundaries, good boundaries, and space. Healing the traumas of the past so that we have the space to heal the traumas that come up to be healed. Wisdom, power, clarity, compassion, love that word. Learn to love that word. If you want to feel love, feel compassion. Tap into your creativity. Let go of your limitations and do all in kindness. Because with love and joy and peace, we ground ourselves into the healing center of the earth. Feel it when you arrive there and feel the beauty of the healing center of the earth and help to open up the portal for the delivery of these new energies into the earth at this time. And I ask the interdimensional beings, those in Ra, the deep self, the higher self, and our soul group to assist these new, and all the beings holding this space to assist all these new wonderful energies to come into the earth now, into the healing center of the earth, and I ask that they be activated. And I let the universe and beyond know that this has been done and that it's good, and I am Steve, and we are one, and we can change and hold the space for change for everyone that we are one with, which is everything. May you get what you deserve. May you love what you get. And may you see the beauty everywhere through the eyes of purity. All women.